Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to talk about the MacBook Neo. Many people talk about it and all I see is that so many people are excited about this, saying this is like one of the best laptops Apple has ever released. It's really powerful, it's good for everyone, but I feel like it's not exactly true. And today I want to talk about all the issues that you're probably going to see when you buy the MacBook Neo. Well, the first problem that if you buy the Apple product, especially if you buy it the first time, you are getting into closed ecosystem, everything done by the Apple rules. That means that if you decide to install the previous version of operating system or just customize the operating system the way you want or change something, typically it's not even possible when we talk about Apple. Some people actually like it, some people enjoy this kind of stuff, but for me, I don't know, I don't really want to get into that mess once again in my life. The second point is that it's not that much faster compared to M1 MacBook Air. And I owned MacBook Air M1 model and it's a really fabulous product, but when you actually use it for quite a while, you realize that like for example the 8 GB of RAM is kind of limiting, processor is kind of weak for serious tasks like virtualization, even gaming if you consider that. For any kind of design work, I would say it's kind of weak. In my opinion, getting MacBook Neo is basically getting a premium version of a Chromebook and nothing more. Some people are going to like it, but Chromebook you can probably buy for let's say $300 or something like that, and MacBook Neo is $600, which is quite more expensive. And the point about that is basically you can get a MacBook Air M1 model cheaper comparing to the MacBook Neo. You can probably get it for $300 and that's it. Another problem is 8 GB of memory. That means that you are not able to run any serious tasks. For example, the Android Studio, even Xcode development is going to be quite slow, I think. Especially it's a problem that comparing to M1 MacBook Air, the read and write speeds of the SSD drive are actually slower. Let's talk about virtualization. It's not really an option on the MacBook Neo in my opinion. Of course you can run parallels and it's going to run fine if you run for example an ARM Debian image, but if you decide to run for example the Windows 11 ARM image, it's going to be really slow because even on my M1 MacBook Air it was running quite slow. So it's not good for virtualization either. If you decide to upgrade your laptop, it's typically possible with typical laptops, right? You can upgrade your RAM, you can change the SSD, you can do a bunch of stuff actually. And when we talk about the MacBook Neo, it's not really an option. Well, except you can probably change your battery. Basically, it's like a subscription model. You buy it for a couple of years, then you sell it, and then you get another computer. You can get probably a second iteration of the MacBook Neo, and that's it. My point here is that MacBook Neo is a device that Apple sells you to get you into Apple ecosystem. And that means that once you buy a MacBook Neo, you're going to buy an iPhone, you're going to buy iPad and other Apple devices, subscriptions and stuff like that. Basically, it's just an easy way to get you into Apple ecosystem and that's it. Because you're going to buy it and then say, okay, it's not really powerful enough, I want something more, I want something else, and you are going to buy a new device. That's basically the idea. And it's really hard to get out of this kind of thing. Because for me, for example, recently I've switched to Linux and all those Linux distros, and it's quite powerful knowing that you can control your hardware, buy your computer only when you actually need it, comparing to what Apple provides. For example, in the case of Apple, you need to update your computer quite often once Apple decides that your computer is no longer relevant. The same thing with Microsoft those days, honestly, but at least with Microsoft, well, it's a PC, right? You can install any software that you want, Linux or any other operating system. Now let's talk about the positive sides of MacBook Neo. You can buy it and use it for simple tasks like word processing, simple drawing, even video editing. You can actually use it for those kind of tasks. And the quality of Apple hardware is actually quite good compared to PC market. For example, I've dropped my MacBook Air M1 many times, and even then it worked really well and I have not seen any issues. So when you use it for simple tasks, it's not a problem at all, and many people are going to buy it for that. For example, the college students are going to buy it. I'm pretty sure about that. Parents are going to be happy about this. There's a student discount as well. You can buy it cheaper. So it's quite good if you're like a student and thinking about a good, simple machine to run your tasks, right? I don't see an issue with that. It's also much better than the tablet computer, like comparing to iPad, for example. If you're deciding between the iPad and MacBook Neo, I would always bet on MacBook Neo because it's much more powerful. Thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like this video. Please press the like button. There'll be more videos about the Android security, cybersecurity and stuff like that. So see you later. Thanks. Bye.